Have you ever wondered about the inner machinations of this beautiful thing we call Valorant Ranked? Like, how does MMR work? Am I boosted? Are my teammates boosted? What about my friends? If I queue with my low rank friends, is it gonna tank my elo? Well, believe it or not, senior competitive designer Riot Evermore tweets out every Friday some new and interesting fact about Ranked. After reading some of these posts, I thought that this was valuable information that you guys would want to hear. Some of what he tweets will actually completely change how you think of Ranked, so you're gonna want to make sure you stick through the whole video. And by the end of this video, you will know exactly how gaining RR works in Ranked, and actually how to gain more RR from your matches as well. These tips will help you optimize your ranked play to climb faster. But I know what you're thinking. None of this stuff matters if my teammates are going to throw my games anyway. Well, you're not wrong. Your teammates are going to definitely suck. But we've gone ahead and created the best place for you to learn how to carry your teammates from elo hell over at SkillCapped. We focus on the game from the low elo perspective, teaching how even players with bad mechanics can carry the 0 and 20 duelist players on their team with minimal effort. With our critically acclaimed team being the best in the industry in not only just Valorant, but also League of Legends and World of Warcraft, we notice trends in games that other services have taken literal years to catch on to. We consult with top experts, and our coaches constantly play the game against your favorite players. Oh, and what's that? We're also the cheapest service on the market. So come get started today, and we'll get you climbing real fast. Now let's get back into how you can optimize your RR gains. These tweets that Evermore sends out are actually really interesting, and some of them are actually going to save you RR, especially the ones we're covering later. Some of these, in my opinion, would make Ranked more fun if more people just knew about these. So make sure you stick around and listen, because these might change your entire outlook on Ranked. But now a lot of you have always wondered why you guys get lower ranked players on your team. Like, oh my goodness, how do I have these silvers on my team? The other team is full of golds. That's totally not fair. Well, Evermore answers that here in this tweet. Just because you have a silver in your gold game doesn't mean they don't belong in the match. Everyone is on their own journey, and it takes multiple games for us to know how you compare to others and what your actual rank is. If you know I'm gold, why don't you just make me gold? Well, placements are only the start of us knowing your skill. It would be pretty bad for everyone if we just placed you at a rank and were wrong about it. It's better for you and teammates to start you at the bottom of your MMR and test you upwards. If we are wrong, you constantly lose and drop in rank. Not only having a bad experience for yourself, but bringing teams down with you. It's safer to be conservative and test you upwards. Also, if we gave away ranks, it would bloat higher ranks and cause inflation or boosting concerns. So remember, if you have a lower rank on your team, maybe they just finished placements or they're improving and climbing. Either way, your focus shouldn't be on your teammates, but on yourself. You are the constant factor in your games and determine your rank, not your teammates. By this tweet, this means that Riot is constantly testing us by starting us at the bottom of our MMR and making us work upwards. So that silver player that you have on your team is being tested as a gold player in their MMR. Riot wants to test that player before just putting them in gold lobbies. They want to make sure that they belong there before just giving them their rank. If they give out ranks too frequently, boosting becomes an issue and rank inaccuracies become a real thing. So how many games do you need in order to prove your rank, you might ask? Well, he tweeted about that as well. In this tweet, Evermore gives us a pretty good idea as to how many games you should expect to play before we hit our true rank. He says, on average it takes 20 to 40 games to have your rank reach your MMR. That means if you play 20 to 40 rank matches during an episode, you should be equal or close to your MMR. This is the easiest way to know if you're close to your MMR other than equal plus or minus RR. The longest we've seen it for a player to reach their rank / MMR is 100 games. We think these may be manipulated, like purposeful lose streaks or just really unlucky. So go slam some games, try your best, and you should be at your MMR after 40 games. So that was pretty straightforward. If you've played 40 games this act, you should be at your MMR. Now, the replies to these tweets are also interesting as well. From them, you learn more and more about how their rank system works. After reading some of these tweets, it seems like there's a really solid system behind Ranked and isn't just random or dumb like a lot of players think. But these facts that I showed you weren't even the most interesting ones that I found while browsing his Twitter. They get even better. This next tweet that he had talks more about the AFK penalty that exists in Valorant. Has your internet ever went out mid-game? Or like your little brother just smashes your router out of nowhere and sabotages your elo? Then you get all worried like, oh no, my elo! And then you come back and see that you lost like 40 elo for AFKing? Well, believe it or not, Riot doesn't just tank your RR because you AFK. There's actually math and logic behind it. When you AFK, there is an RR penalty. RR penalty starts when you miss 3 rounds at -8 RR, capping at -12 RR for 6 rounds AFK. This is added to the win/loss of the match. If you are AFK for 6 rounds, you do not get the RR for the win. So if you are AFK for 6 rounds, even if you come back and win, you'll still lose -12 RR. But if your team loses, you would lose the total points for the loss and an additional -12 RR. We want to encourage coming back to help your team win, but we want AFK to be punishing. We also have a cap. A match loss will never be more than -30 RR if diamond or below, -50 RR for ascendant and above. But those AFK penalties can go above those amounts. This is on top of our social systems, which gives temporary competitive restrictions for chronic AFK players. Also in another tweet, he mentions why they don't soften the blow to your RR when you have people who leave your games, and it's a pretty good one. It's basically to prevent people who are having a bad game from getting bullied into to leaving so everyone else's RR gets saved. But this next tweet was actually about a question that I always wondered, and it's about ranked decay. Some of my friends would leave the game for an extended period of time, would join midway through an act, and would play with a wide variety of ranks. But ranked decay is definitely a thing. In this tweet, Evermore explains how the longer you're away from the game, the lower your MMR goes. Not only that, but they also increase your variance. According to Evermore, your variance is how confident they are in your MMR. The higher your variance, the further you may match up with players and gain/lose MMR as well. It's how we tell the range at which you play. If you have high variance, we are probably less sure about where you belong. This is a quick way for Riot to make sure that you're not too rusty to start playing back at your original MMR. This keeps those rusty players out of your game and a chance for these players who haven't played in a while to regain their MMR back. So if you do decide to take an extended break from Valorant, don't be surprised if when you come back, you have to earn your keep in your original MMR. But if you haven't lost a step, it shouldn't be that hard to get back to where you were. By the way, if you don't follow Evermore on Twitter, you definitely should. These tweets are really insightful. But this tweet is actually one that I think could single-handedly save ranked if people just knew about it. In it, he breaks down the 4 things that impact your RR. But the most interesting part of this thread was this part here where he talks about the round differential. We take the round difference of how you won or lost by and do some math to multiply it by the opponent's difficulty after MMR updates have happened for that match. This is the only difficulty of opponent RR calculation we have. That means if you crush a difficult opponent, you will get more RR. That said, we cap the round differential at 10 RR, so you will never gain or lose more than 10 RR for the round differential of a match. At the end of the day, after all the math is done, usually each round is worth about 1 to 2 RR, and that's an easy way to think about it. It's always worth trying to win as many rounds as possible, even if you think you're going to lose. Those extra round wins will make you lose less RR and help you climb. Every round matters. This tweet just goes to show how important each round is. If you start thinking about every round as 1 to 2 RR, all of a sudden you want to start trying that much harder even though you're losing. Every round should be viewed as important, and every round could be used to help you improve. So stop spamming that surrender key and try and win as many rounds as you can. And speaking of the surrender key, you should actually stop FFing. I get it. Little Timmy is bad and isn't fun to play with, but by FFing, you're really damaging your RR. You'll be really surprised by this. Look. Your MMR can go up on a loss, while your RR will go down. If you have a really good match, your encounter can go up higher, while your win/loss MMR goes down. This is why you shouldn't FF early. You want more chances to soften that loss and raise MMR. This is easier to do in lower ranks, like gold and below, because encounter MMR is more impactful than win/loss. To reiterate, you have a multiplier on your RR based on your MMR, so it's always important to play your best and not give up to increase your MMR, increasing your RR gains. So by FFing, you're quite literally throwing your own elo. So stop doing it and make a comeback. Now, if there's anything that you take away from this video, it's that you should stop worrying about how the rank system works or how much elo you're gaining because of XYZ. Evermore says it best himself. Just play to improve, keep trying to get better, and you'll rank up naturally. But don't get me wrong, it's still nice to understand how the system works. It's a reminder that no matter what, you should always be putting your best foot forward. So stop FFing, quit worrying about the stats, and start getting better. Anyways, if you guys enjoyed the video, be sure to drop a like and subscribe to the channel down below. It really does help us out. And remember, if you want to carry yourself out of elo hell, we can give you a hand. We have content on our website like Radiant Smurf commentaries where Radiants will play in every rank and show you the secrets to winning. Or you can be privately coached by some of our Radiant level players. Now with our courses, coaching, Smurf commentaries, ask yourself, are we really not worth it? Now quit wasting RR and come check us out at SkillCapped. We'll be waiting. And yeah, that's it. Thanks for listening, guys. I'm Teets, and we here at SkillCapped want to thank you all for watching, and we'll catch you guys in the next one. Take care.